most notably recently, you did the Everything Everywhere All at Once movie.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, and what was your title on that one, and how did that work?
So I was a gaffer on that one. I have probably 12 years experience working with the Daniels, and even more experience working with Larkin Saipo, the DP. We actually went to college together.
No
His first day at college, I was a sophomore, and I met him, and he worked for me for years, and then he started shooting more.
Wow.
And then we started working for the Daniels on a...
Who are the Daniels?
The Daniels are the directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Directors, writers, producers.
Okay.
We did a music video with them back in 2010. And then we've done tons of music videos, commercials, and 2 movies with them. The previous movie we did with them was Swiss Army Man. I think we filmed that in like 2014, maybe. The Daniels are very, very organized. Which if you're making a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once, you have to be.
Yeah.
Like such a confusing script. I think I read the script 5 times and I was like, I get it. But like I would make a list of all the different multiverses and all the different characters just to keep myself organized. But there were so many parts that I had no idea where we were or what we were shooting.
Right, because you don't shoot in order, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first step always is the director working with the DP to just discuss the different themes and their different processes that they're going to use. And I know a big part of that was each multiverse having a different look.
A different cinematography style.
Exactly.
Written down on paper somewhere.
Yeah.
This one's only long lenses. This one warm. This
Larkin
one cold.
used different sets of lenses for each multiverse.
Oh,
so there were
different
tons
glass.
there were tons of lenses on that.
Oh,
And
that's
so the
dope.
ACs were always like, okay, what lens do you want now? What lens set? You know? So it got so complicated. So that was one of the visual ideas that they had there. So once the director and the DP have that idea, it's me scouting with the DP and figuring out like, okay, this
Right.
set is this multiverse. This is the look we're going for. And I'd be like, all right, well, in the atrium, if you've seen the movie, which is where like the final fight happens.
Where she sees the bagel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the atrium set. A big part of that was like, we need to shoot all day. We were shooting in the winter, which means like you have 8 hours of sunlight,
Right.
8 to 10 hours of sunlight, but we need to like shoot all day and make it look day in there. And we also need to shoot during the day and make it look night in there. So it's him sort of telling me those problems and being like, all right, let's find solutions.
So then you have to find a way to get rid of all the natural light and then add your own and be
Yeah.
able to take it off, put it on.
In that case, it was, if you go to my Instagram, I made like a whole behind the scenes video about it.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it here. Yeah.
Yeah, we made, we used like your light tiles, which is like a tarp with
Okay.
LEDs built on it. And it was like 100 feet of LED that we put over the skylight. So it blocked out all the light, but it was also dimmable and somewhat color changeable so that we
Nice.
could go between scenes quickly.
Like LED strips, like the ones that people put in their bedroom?
Yeah,
Kind of LED
except
strips?
miles and miles and miles of it sewed into like a blanket almost.
Wow.
So that was like the perfect solution for what we needed there.
I like that it wasn't just use a big light like a 12K or something.
Yeah.
It was like, no, let's make a custom solution that fits this location specifically. Is that something you like doing, is figuring out the custom solution?
Yeah, I think in any case, my job as a gaffer is to find solutions to what the DP and directors want to do.
Right.
And so for every problem that they bring up or every idea that they have, it's like, well, we have the budget that we need to work in. We have a time frame we need to work in. And how do we deliver that idea with picking a product and then coming up with a game plan on how to install that on time, and then
Right. And they have to tell you also, like, the fact that we also need to make it look like night and day consistent. They need to tell you not just the look, but how many different looks you need for that day. And then you
Exactly.
have to backwards engineer what's the right solution. How do you prep it? How you schedule it? How does that fit in the overall schedule?
yeah. And a movie like that, like we're jumping between multiverses, which
Right.
have different looks, summer day, summer night, and we might shoot 8 multiverses in one day, you know, with there's costume changes and everything. So a big part of like what we do is nowadays is everything is through the lighting console. so that if they're like, all right, we're going to this scene right here, like push of the button, every light changes color, dims, and we have a completely different look.
In by lighting console, you mean you run like DMX cables from the lights onto a thing,
Yeah.
and then you have it on a computer, like you're doing a concert, like in a...
Yeah, exactly. Same exact software and hardware as I use when I do big concerts. We use when we do big movies. And these days, it's not even much DMX. It's all Ethernet. We're building giant lighting control Ethernet networks on a location every single day. You know,
That's amazing.
it's like my electricians, which we don't even call them anymore. They're set lighting technicians. They are like part network engineers.
It's a whole nother skill set because the lights are smart lights now. It's not just tungsten hot lights. It's mostly LEDs.
All LEDs for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like when I was working on The Departed, it's like giant cable, tons of generators, massive lights. The lights have a switch, and that all it does is it turns on.
Right. On,
Nowadays, the cables are tiny.
Yeah.
And the lights are more expensive.
Yeah.
You know, than the big old ones. But they have little computers in them that are controlled by the big computers and big processors. And it's my job to make sure like that network is up and running. And then, you know, the most important person on my lighting crew these days is the lighting programmer.
Wow.
Because after I have everything installed, a lot of times the DP's working with that lighting programmer and, you know, controlling thousands of lights, if not hundreds of thousands of lights.
Without having to run to the back of the light and hit the little knob thingy.
Exactly.
It's just like, hey, give me less headlight or whatever, and boom,
Yeah.
boom, and they're just adjusting it. That's awesome.